Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, piloted into the universe of Chinese, and welcome to a new week. We have another great lineup of sound-alikes that I call them sound-alikes, but really what I've been doing week after week is to bring up a cluster of 6 sound-alike Chinese characters that's somehow semantically related. It's not just as a sound, like what's called phono-semantic compounds. 形声字. What I want to say is these 形 create meaning, and both the sound part of it is also about the shape, what the story it brings into the visual. So today we have this looking thing. Okay, this probably just by the first impression is not a typical boxy Chinese because it's not enclosed. There's no box in there. Instead, there are a lot of lines and sharp ends in it. And actually, in ancient times, this is a weaponry. Dagger, axe. Well, I've never seen one. But this character was reoccurring in so many situations. By this dagger axe, I mean this part, pronounced as gu, and you can see here it's double of those stacking up. So here we have gu and gu in the 2,000 years ago steel script. This is traditional Chinese, this is simplified. So I learned Chinese from the simplified, and to me, it's just memorization. Rote memory, have no clue why it looks like this. Kind of look like a gu, but with actual line in there, what that actual line is. Turned out, it's in the simplification of Chinese in the 1950s that scholars decide instead of writing the same gu twice up and down so many strokes, we just add one additional line here as if there's two gu kind of almost like overlapping a little bit like that, right? Stacking up instead of like separately, but like just barely the second gu on the top poking through on top of the, so they share most of the body parts, but the double gu expressed by this double line here. I think, well, that's pretty smart, except that it kind of hides the track of what this character is about. Now, why it means minuscule? Minuscule, maybe I didn't pronounce it right. But double dagger axe. Why? All of a sudden it becomes small. Okay, I had some thoughts, but I checked with AI, of course. AI gave me 2 options. One is, okay, double gu means two people fighting, 2 warriors clashing, fighting, cutting. That's the original meaning. The second one is, it means something got chopped up repetitively. So obvious to me, this is the doublets, one of those doublets situation that we talked a few weeks ago. That's not about the sound-alikes, but exactly the same pattern, copied twice. Sometimes with Chinese place side by side of it, sometimes up and down, depends on the space, the shape of the character. Now here is up and down, double positioning of this dagger weapon. Why? All of a sudden, it means small. Okay, I think I would agree more with the double dagger axes are not about 2 opponents trying to kill each other. It's not that. It's in other words, the doubling is not a spatial doubling or like intensify, like we have 2 fires means extraordinarily hot, heated. So not the intensification either, but it kind of means sequentially in time, we exit again repeatedly. So when we do so many dagger axes over, it's more likely one person chopping something repeatedly. Doesn't mean 2 person chopping off each other's head. Bloody. And so this repetitive chopping up something would ancient times, as well as today, create small, minuscule, minute, small size, bite size most likely, bits of meat or wood. So something got chopped up with so many acts, action. When Chinese double it, it doesn't mean just, linearly two, like number two, like a dual. It means repeatedly. So here, multiple chopping, chopped up into small bits would be jiān, this original meaning of that. And okay, I have to do a little disclaimer. This jiān character today still lives with us as part of a supporting role in other characters I'm going to introduce the rest of the week. By itself, jiān, it existed in our classical literature. I, as a contemporary Chinese user, don't come across this character on its own, just independently on its own, without a partner next to it. So, 为数尖尖, 尖尖微物, 数帛尖尖, all these three expressions were probably written down some thousands years ago. Okay, 为数尖尖, because 尖尖, here is another funny part. You notice all three expressions repeat jiān again. I mean, jiān itself is repeat this dagger axe twice. Each one is 2x. Literally 2x, right? Just sound like 2x, pretty cool. And then we double that again. So that's a 4x of something. Visually, audibly, we're doubling down a lot. And it simply means little crumbs of things. Kind of like a leftovers, nobody takes serious of. It's in accounting terms, immaterial. 为数尖尖 exactly means that. Means 为数, count or act as 数. Like you can count down, you can count something as a full digit. 尖尖, it's like hardly anything left. So 为数尖尖 means really nothing much left. 尖尖微物, 微 means small, like a micro scale. And 物 means things. It can be living things or unliving things. You can see the ox on the left and a flag on the right side. So both animate, inanimate made this character. That's kind of a broader category. So 微物 means micro things. 尖尖微物 describes individual, those micro things. They are like what's chopped left over. Okay, 数帛尖尖 here is an example of, I guess, ancient literature man talks about how the government back then tried to buy them out, okay? So I guess this is a practice of power trying to buy influence through the mouthpieces, like whoever were best writers or spokesperson back then, right? Like an ancient PR was worth something. So what's saying? This is 数帛. This is how much they worth. 数 means tied up in a bundle. 帛 means light fabric. So those probably silk fabric put together, tied up in a bundle. And I mean, it looks not much, but I guess it's silk in ancient times and worth something. And 尖尖 means just tiny little bit. So it's almost like the brains back then were saying, okay, this is how much government tried to pay me to be their mouthpiece. So that's the context. And I want to point out a dot connecting moment for me. That 尖, chopped up small by double axing down, can be compared with the concept of 小. Chinese express 小 as something cut, like with a middle line, visually cut one piece into two pieces. That's a Chinese 小. It visually creates this cutting something in half image. And cutting something in half means small. And when you chop something, even if you only repeat it twice, that's already double cut, right? That's at least cut it into 4 pieces. So it's even more smaller. So just by the motion of cutting, how much times the thing was divided, we can kind of deduce, okay, 尖尖 must be really small. It's smaller than small, so to speak. Okay, so here is a smaller ladybug saying that to create this minuscule imagery in nature. 尖. I'll see you tomorrow and see what other contemporary Chinese characters this ancient character, double X, still lives in. Thank you for your time. See you another day.